Here's a number that ends more Great Loop dreams than any budget ever will. 19 feet. Not the price, not the horsepower, the height of a fixed bridge on the Erie Canal, and the boat that can't fit under it doesn't get a second chance, it just turns around. In a prior video on top Great Loop boats, we looked at which brands actually finished the loop. Today we go deeper. What makes a boat right for it? The size, the draft, the livability, the things that decide whether you cross your wake or quit in month 4. And by the end, I will share 5 boats that get it right. From a budget classic under $100,000 to a brand new trawler and a catamaran most loopers have never considered. Most people start their loop search with the fun stuff, the layout, the flybridge, and the galley, and that's exactly backwards. Before a boat is comfortable, it has to fit. I call this the loop test. The numbers your boat has to live inside and your chosen route make the decision for you. First, air draft, how tall you stand above the water. The lowest fixed bridge on the loop sits at roughly 19 feet on the Erie Canal, and some alternate routes drop into the mid-15. The Canadian route gives you a little more, around 21. But your arch, antennas, and canvas all count. And many boats that don't fit on paper actually do once you learn what folds down. As a rule of thumb, consider 19 feet 6 inches as your air draft limitation to be able to do the loop at all. If you want the flexibility to take the scenic alternate routes like the Trent Severn Waterway or Lake Champlain, you will want to keep your air draft below 17 feet. Second, water draft, how deep you sit. Stay under 5 feet, and honestly, under 4.5 is the number that keeps you off the bottom on the ICW. The loop isn't deep water. It's skinny water for hundreds of miles. Third, length and beam. Locks, slips, and lifts all have limits. The average boat that finished the loop last year was just over 41 feet. And that's no accident. It's the sweet spot. Real livability without fighting every lock wall and marina slip. You're probably thinking, so I'd just buy the smallest boat that clears the bridges. But actually, no. And this is where first-timers get it wrong. Because the loop isn't a trip, it's a move. Over 5,000 miles, 1 to 2 years, sometimes more. You aren't visiting these places, you're living in them. And the boats that finish are the ones you can still stand in month 14 when it's cold and raining and you've got 400 miles to go. So at Current Yachts, we run what we call the Livability Test. 3 things that matter more than any horsepower number. First, can you live in it? A real berth with a real mattress, not cushion that slide apart at 2 a.m. A galley with a full fridge and a real stove. Loopers spend more time there than anywhere except the helm, of course. An enclosed head with a separate shower. Climate control for both ends because the loop runs from the cold of the Great Lakes to the heat of the Gulf Coast. And storage for 4 seasons of clothing, tools, and spares. Second, can you fix it? This is the one buyers underestimate most. 400 miles from the nearest dealer, the most valuable thing your boat has isn't luxury. It's a common engine, a big owner community, and a part on the shelf. Third, will it start every morning? Reliability and range do matter. A single, well-supported diesel that sips fuel and asks for little. Livability, repairability, reliability. That is the real filter. Now, most videos stop here and just tell you to buy a trawler. But actually, the loop rewards a wider range of boats than anyone admits, and you don't have to be confined to displacement speed. Here are 5 options and why each earns its place. Boat number 1, the budget classic, Mainship 34 or 390 trawler. Start here because this is the boat that proves you don't need a big budget to cross your wake. The Mainship 34, and its later cousin, the 390, is one of the most common boats you will ever see doing the Great Loop. And that popularity isn't hype, it's a signal. The original 34 rides on a solid fiberglass cherubini hull with a deep keel that tracks straight and doesn't pound. A single diesel burns 2 to 3 gallons an hour at 7 to 8 knots. Parts are everywhere. The owner community is enormous. And a clean one runs roughly $25,000 to $65,000, leaving money in the bank for fuel, haul-outs, and the surprises every loop journey throws at you. Here is the mistake that costs people, though. Buyers assume affordable means not serious. It doesn't. What it means on this boat is survey it hard. These decks use balsa core, and the factory wasn't always careful sealing hardware. Water gets in, core rots. A proper survey is never optional on an older boat, especially a Mainship. Do that, and you've got the most proven budget looper in the country. And if you are weighing a specific older boat and want a second set of eyes before you make an offer, that's exactly what we do, so reach out to us at Current Yachts. I'll put the link in the description. We work with lube buyers across the country, and a 30-minute conversation has saved more than one from a very expensive mistake. Boat number 2, the classic Trawler by Kadey-Krogen. At the other end of the spectrum is the boat you buy when the loop might not be your last adventure. Kadey-Krogen is a true blue water passage maker, full displacement, seriously built, with a loyal owner community second only to Nordhaven. On the loop, a Krogen is almost overqualified, but that's the point. It does the loop and leaves the door open to continue on to more passages later. The trade-off is honest. You pay more upfront, and full displacement means you cruise at 7 to 9 knots and learn to love it. But the build quality, range, and resale are all there. Krogens hold value because owners keep them for decades. With recent news of the builder's bankruptcy, though, the newest vintage of Kadey-Krogens may be harder to come by. One caution, same lesson as the Mainship with a bigger price tag. A neglected passage maker hurts you just as badly as a boat that was never built for the job. Reputation is not a substitute for a survey. Buy a boat that's been well cared for. Don't follow the badge on the transom blindly. Boat number 3, the compact Overachiever, Ranger Tugs. This is where it gets interesting because this one punches so far above its size, it makes bigger boats look wasteful. Ranger Tugs builds compact single-engine pocket cruisers in the 27 to 31-foot range. For the loop, small is a feature, not a compromise. Low air draft and easy fit in every lock and slip, and the smaller models even trailer, so you can run the loop one season and the keys the next. Underneath, it's exactly what our filter rewards. A single diesel sips 2 to 3 gallons an hour at hull speed. The enclosed pallet house and the diesel heat make it a true all-season boat, which matters more than you think on the cold northern legs. And the owner community is one of the most active in all of boating, with organized rendezvous on both coasts and the Great Lakes. That's not just a social perk. That is shared knowledge and a helping hand waiting at the next dock. Now, the honest part, you're probably thinking a boat this small should be cheap. It isn't. A well-equipped 29 can cross $300,000, and that number stops people cold until they step inside. For many couples who want the most capable small boat on the water, with a ready-made community around it, that trade is just right. Boat number 4, the brand new Trawler, Beneteau Swift Trawler 41. If you want to loop in a modern boat that's still in production, with a warranty, a dealer network, and modern systems, this is the one. The Swift Trawler 41 is the best seller at the center of the most popular trawler line in the world today. The smallest one with a true 3-cabin layout and a full flybridge helm. Its signature move is the galley aft design that opens straight into the cockpit. It's the feature owners love most. Draft is under 4 feet, and the twin Volvo D4 diesels under the floor are not only incredibly efficient paired with this hull design, they are among the best supported on the planet, with both spare parts availability and a wide network of certified Volvo technicians, which loops us right back to repairability. 2 honest notes for the loop. 1. The flybridge's air draft runs around 19 feet to the mast top. Workable but tight. If low bridges keep you up at night, the sedan version sits lower and may be a smarter loop pick. 2. This is genuine production quality, not a custom classic. You're paying for capability and support, not a super yacht's interior. And for a couple who wants a new boat that performs, that's the right fit. Boat number 5, the wild card, Aspen Power Catamarans. The boat not enough loop cruisers have considered and probably should. Most people hear catamaran and picture a boat too wide for the locks and slips. And for a lot of cats, that's true. A 24-foot beam is a real problem on the loop. But Aspen isn't that kind of cat. Aspen builds a narrow, asymmetric power catamaran. The 2 hulls are deliberately different sizes, with a single diesel in the larger one. What you get is catamaran stability and shallow draft, with the fuel economy and simplicity of just one engine to maintain. The beam stays narrow enough to fit the locks and slips that stop wider cats cold. Stable at anchor, efficient underway, easy on fuel. 3 things that matter enormously over 5,000 miles. The catch could be the flip side of what makes it special. While we love the fact that Aspen is a US-based boutique builder, that does come with the drawbacks of a community and parts network that aren't as deep as Mainship or Beneteau. On a boat where repairability is one of our 3 pillars, that is worth considering. But we've heard owners are raving about post-sale support, so do yourself a favor and talk to current owners to get to the bottom of it. It's worth the effort because this builder is easily the most efficient, most overlooked boat on this list. So here is what the Loop is really asking of your boat. Not prestige, not top speed. It's asking, will you fit? Can you live aboard? Can you fix it? And will it start every morning for a year straight? Run any boat through that filter and the right answer stops being about the fanciest name at the dock. A budget Mainship, a classic Krogen, a pocket Ranger Tug, a brand new Swift Trawler, or a clever Aspen Power Cat can all get you around. What they share isn't a price tag. It's that they were built to move, built to be fixed, and sized to fit the journey. If this video helps you think about your Loop boat differently, subscribe. We make videos like this every week for buyers and owners who want the real version of what works. Drop your dream Loop boat in the comments and tell us why you think it's the best choice for you. We'll be happy to weigh in, and if you haven't seen the top great Loop boats ranked by real cruisers, you'll want to watch this video next. I will see you there.